Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi, Claudia. Hi, Ash on the interweb. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Ave, if you want to join the, I think we should be good. Cool. So today we're going to be talking about funnels specifically. I know that this is like such a crazy buzzword. People are always like, it's super a technical thing to talk about of like, where's your funnel? Like, what's your funnel look like? But I'm here to like strip all that away and just like give you guys a very positive outlook on funneling in your leads. We all good to go, PK? Solid. But I think that, yeah, like I had said, a lot of people do Tony Robinson's, like your funnels, like what do they look like? And I'm seeing this becoming super popular in your guys' industry right now. And I wanted to just give you guys some tools so that if any of you guys do go forward with any of that stuff, not that it's not stuff we provide or anything like that, but so that you have some good base principles of what to think about when you are either making one for you guys as you guys start to go throughout your career. Cool? This is an interactive workshop here. Yeah. All right, solid. Okay, so today we're going to go over the basics of capturing your leads. This is not how to build, but just the principles of, like I was saying, of what to actually do. Again, this is all going to be pretty interactive with you guys because I need to know more about like the real estate industry from you guys. Cool. So why is my content agency talking to me about funnels? Interesting. I know, right? Because we help you guys create content for this part, the top of funnel. And we seem to be doing a pretty good job. The key here is that like specifically we track the ingredients, the leads. And what we see happening right now with you guys is sometimes this is happening. So that doesn't make us feel good. That doesn't make you guys feel good. Like lead follow-up is so important, right? This could be a number of things. Sometimes the lead is like a $2 million home. It's an investor that you missed out on that purchases 5 times a year. Sometimes it's just your best friend on Facebook who said they're your best friend and they bought with somebody else. You feel me? Has anybody ever lost a lead? Hands up. Do you ever know somebody that bought with somebody else or they ended up going with somebody else? Yeah?
Nope. Perfect.
Mark, only one. I love that. So yeah, it's a very expensive loss. So yeah, we want to see this. This is the ideal kind of funnel right here. It's going, all the leads are getting captured. It's going all the way down the funnel. Nothing's getting missing. Ideally, this is the perfect funnel when it goes through the whole cycle and then it goes through again. They purchase with you again. They refi on the back end. That's the ideal thing. Feel me? Yeah. Yeah. And also too, that's the thing too. It's also never perfect, but we can do things that to make it a very high percentage rate. So cool. Let's begin. Phone's on silent. Everybody with me here? Definitely feel to ask questions, interact. It's supposed to be very interactive. So cool. No, not really. This is not to get into the specifics. This is just like basic 101 stuff that like you can know the knowledge about how the lead. This is the life cycle that your clients go through. That's like the really way of thinking about it. So we have a 5-course meal. We have a simple funnel breakdown. What's a funnel? I want to go into what's a lead because sometimes we get confused. Like, well, what's a lead? Is like my cousin a lead? Is my best friend a lead? Like, what is a lead? Like, who can define it? I'm a lead. Exactly. The problems after awareness. So after the first stage of the funnel, where things get lost. Number 4, how to properly, quote, funnel the lead. And number 5, ways to nurture said lead. You guys with me? Thank you guys, solid. So first course meal, simple funnel breakdown. There are so many ways to break this down. You can break this down into 7 layers. You can break it down into 6, into 5. I just break it down into like easy 4. So top of funnel is like awareness. That's just they see you from like direct mails, Instagram. Anybody have any other ideas of where awareness comes from? Awareness. How do they find out about you? Word of mouth? In person, networking? Google. Yeah. Step 2, the lead shows interest. What is this? What does this mean?
They tell you they want to buy a house.
They tell you they're in the market. They're a warm lead. Whoops. Number 3, the purchase or the actual sale. That's when you guys complete the transaction. You guys all know what that is. And then number 4, loyalty, advocacy, retain, nurture the lead. This is like after the closing. Like what value do you still provide for them that will make them want to re-enter the funnel again? Huge to think about. So when you think of top of funnel, you think of direct mail, video, content, ads, referrals, providing value. You're going to see the common theme amongst all these levels are always providing value. Step 2. So this is your CRM, and this is where we see, you kind of can't see right here, the biggest problem. So this is CRM, follow-up, newsletters, again, providing value, and we're gonna jump into those problems a little bit later. But this is what I think about in the second step of the funnel. Like, it's just a very basic knowledge. Don't get like confused by all these like click funnels and all this stuff. Like, don't let it confuse you. Whoop. So yeah, and I know for a fact everyone on this call knows this. This is the sales side. All of you guys make sales. You guys are really good at your job. I don't think we're going to be going over this section of the funnel much at all because you guys understand that really, really well. This is your knowledge and guidance, earn trust, sales, fat bank account, and providing value as always. Understood. So what happens here? This is the post-closing service. This is where they're going to refer you out. This is where you need to give them the exact words so that way they can pass along your name. I've said this before in a previous presentation, but it's like, what are the words? Like, what does Alyssa do that she can help you in this process? Oh, well, Alyssa specializes in VA because she is a veteran herself. You have to give people those words so that way they know how to pass them on to other people. It's like creative department. We make short form content for service-based businesses. When you go somewhere else, like they make short form content for service-based. It's like, oh, okay, cool, I know what they do. Because sometimes you talk to people, they're like, I think they're an agent, a lender, like, I don't know, like they do something in the real estate industry. Like if they would have just told them the exact 3 to 5 sentences, they can communicate it. And you're here in Creative Department's funnel, FYI. We're always trying to provide value, nurture leads, create loyalty. So yeah, this is how I think about it. How many people feel like their funnel looks like this? By show of hands. They have awareness and they can make the sale, but they might not have systems in play, and then there's no follow-up after the purchase. Hands? I feel like this. Okay, Raul? You feel like this? No step number 2, like maybe step number 4. Yeah. How many people feel like this? They have no awareness, but they can run a good system, and then they could still make the purchase, but again, they fall off in the end goal. Anybody feel like this, out of curiosity? I didn't think so. But yeah. So, 4 areas of funnel and what they consist of. Who could tell me? Number 1? Awareness. What are some examples of awareness? Social media? Anybody here? Direct mail? Examples of awareness?
In-person interaction.
Ads, networking, all this stuff. Yes. Thank you, guys. So let's go course number 2. What is a lead? Do anybody want to give a shot at this? You guys said somebody with a pulse. Everyone's a lead. I would agree with that statement. According to leads.
Everybody is considered a prospect. A lead is completely different than an actual prospect. Right, nerd.
Might be right.
I'm just letting you know.
That could be totally right.
Yeah.
Front row. A person that you can contact, right? So we don't necessarily want like leads, we want engaged leads. So what's an engaged lead? It's basically somebody that can contact you that's also ready to buy or sell, also known as a warm lead. Don't get confused by like a lot of the verbiage because it all kind of means a little bit of the same thing. Sounds like we want a lot of leads, yes or no?
Yes.
And why? Why do we want a lot of leads?
Because they turn into clients.
They turn into clients. You say no? I don't know, you might, maybe. Ultimately, yes, and I'm gonna tell you why yes. Because if you have an unlimited amount of leads, if the lead funnel never dies, you can mess up the transaction as many times as you want realistically. Because then you could get it right. You don't wanna do that. But if you have an endless fountain of leads, then you can mess up as many times as you need to. But Mark also has a point too. You only want the qualified leads. You only want the engaged leads.
Only 30% of people in San Diego are actually qualified to buy. So the other 60%.
We get into this.
Yeah, but then.
You know, spend the time with them.
Yeah, but then those 60% later on become.
And in reality, not all of them. The reality, yeah, you can have a funnel
You could also not mess up and then have the funnel and then also execute perfectly. That's the ideal world.
I say you don't want to mess up because people will speak your name
Correct.
1 out of 10 times for how good you do, but people will speak your name 10 out of 10 times for how fucked up you do.
I agree.
So you don't want to fuck up.
What's up, Jay? Oh, so the number one thing is lead conversion. So in this room, like show of hands really quick, you can handle one lead in a 1 year time span. I'm just kind of curious. Everybody should be raising their hand here. You could handle one full lead, like you could close it in a year.
If they're qualified, yes.
If they're assuming everything's good to go. So the point of this is I want to feel where are people's kind of limits at with this. So 10, you could handle 10 in 1 year, no problem. What about 20? No problem. Okay. 30? Everyone feel good, confident about that number? Could you handle it? So 50. So at 50, do you have systems in play? And if anybody's bold enough, so you want to show how good your guys' setup is.
We do now.
Yeah. So like that's where we all want to get to. This is like utopia. The utopia is like 100, right? We could take 100, we could close 100 without with systems in play.
The goal, like when you take any CRM, right? The average conversion is 1,000 to 1. You have 1,000 leads or 1,000 contacts in there. You should get one.
Should be able to get one.
Out of it. So you're going to need more. If you're only dealing with 100, chances are you're.
Maybe. Maybe.
Those are the metrics.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to have qualified leads because like our conversion rate's better than that though.
It's also a totally different product though. You're doing something that's.
Yeah, but like there's people in like many different, like I know a lot of people in real estate industries that have excellent conversion rates. Like for every again, $1 they're putting in, they're getting 20 back. Like we've seen these people.
Sure.
It's possible.
It's different in every industry.
Yeah, I agree.
You can get 1,000 leads and close 10 of them and still get a 20 to 1 return.
I agree.
So you can't really use those metrics based off of or compare your product to. It also just varies how good you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like when we were with like Zillow Flex, right? Like we just had all these leads coming in, right? I mean, bro, you're above 8% conversion rate closer. Like that's solid.
That's beautiful.
Like the average is 1 to 3%.
Yes.
So like
We say anything above 3 is amazing. Like if you're above 5, that's great. Like 8's beautiful.
I was at 10 at one point, but it was because it was the amount. We're just drowning though.
Yeah, but and that's why. So the drown, it's like where are the systems? That's where you get to. Like, and I think it's just trying to be aware of like, okay, what is it? How can we build a system that meets all these? And so that way we can have the capability. Because this goes across the board for not just leads. When you start to grow a team of like what it looks like for recruitment, what it looks like for like anybody, anything.
And the sales cycle too of something. Our product, our sales cycle right now is between 3 and 6 months. Different industry or different market.
Your market's 18 to 24.
No, not if you're actively looking at shopping. It's 3 to 6 months. You can be somebody's entire life if that's the case. They may not be ready for 10 years financially. They want to, but they're just not there. So
Maybe.
with COVID, somebody calls in, you need to get them a house within a month because they're calling everyone
Yeah.
trying to get their hands on something. So for this market, it's definitely a lot more.
Do we know like the time that like a lead is submitted? When a lead submits, do we know like the time that you have to call them in like for the most likely highest achievement of conversion? 5. 5. So if a lead comes in, the likelihood that they will close is if you call them back within 5 minutes.
And they don't answer how many times you got called. You know that one?
No, I don't.
You gotta at least try to reach out to them.
I don't stop. I treat leads exactly like I do when we're recruiting people like for like editors. Like people think like, oh, like if you're trying to hire somebody, if you're trying to recruit somebody, like they're not answering my call, I shouldn't go after them. Like they're just as important as like a lead to your business. If it means that much to you, you should go out of your way. So yeah, so when you think about 100 warm leads, what do they get from you on a weekly basis? What do your leads get? Do they get newsletters? Do they get text messages? Do they get flyers? Do they get workshops? Do they get what do they get? I think it's just like something to think about. Content. So third course. Here's the problems after awareness. This is like kind of the common ones we hear. You have a basic understanding, and let's get to the problems of how they quote like get lost. One more time, who's lost the lead? Like, can anybody tell me the reasons?
Just follow-up.
Poor follow-up,
Inconsistent follow-up.
inconsistent follow-up. Anybody else? Quick hitters, why they lost the lead? Just didn't like it. It wasn't a right fit. Yeah, absolutely. It could also be on them too, like if they just weren't at the right time in their life. But yeah, so we kind of usually see the fallout right after awareness and like right after they go into your system. Very rare cases, there's like right before they're about to go into the purchase, but usually it happens right before. Just kind of something to think about. Here's some problems that we've here. Again, not a right fit. I don't know where to go. They're like, cool, like you're giving me this content, I don't know where to go. And if this is what this PowerPoint is for, exactly right here. I need more information, I don't know where to go. I have the urgency to act, but no one's there. I don't feel like anybody's there for me. You're like, really? Because I'm standing right here. So you're like, why did they not catch that? You're confusing me, there's no clear route, so therefore I exit the sales process. They could have been totally interested in buying a home. They could have totally been interested in selling theirs. But it's like if there's no clear path, they're out. So that's what I want to get to here. I'm confused and I don't know where to go. Do we all know what this is? It's a link tree. And there's too many options here. Like, what is it that they want to do? Right? So I've seen some realtors have this kind of link tree. Find out how much your home is worth. Follow me on TikTok. Listen to my podcast. Let's grab coffee. San Diego events PDF flyer. Leave me a Zillow review. It's too much. You're giving way too many options. First of all, it's like a negative net right here because you're asking, it's like a -2 net. You're asking, this is value. You're asking, this is value. Like it's a net -2 right there. If this is your brand, you want, like Steve Jobs has this quote, like you want to insert like good deposits. And every time you ask, it's a withdrawal on your brand. So you want to deposit as much goodwill as possible. But the number one thing is you're confusing me. Is anyone here familiar with the JAM experiment? I love this one so much. I geek out on it every time. Okay, so there was a study done in the Bay Area at a market. Psychologists found that consumers were 10 times more likely to purchase JAM on display when they reduced the number from 24 to 6 jars of flavors. 10% increase on less options. And that goes across the board. You look at In-N-Out, they have 3 menu items. They always have a line into the streets, messing up traffic. We allow it. That's crazy. I don't know. See what I mean? So I think it's just trying to think about what do I want, like, what is the ideal client that I close a house with? Like, where do I send them to? Where do I send them? Is it a direct DM? Is it a WhatsApp message? Is it to my form? Just thinking about those things. We'll get into that in a sec. In-N-Out, perfect example. So yeah, solution, pick one thing you want the lead to do, max 2. That's like, if this is what I'm hitting home, this entire presentation is this point right here. You got to pick one thing you want the lead to do. It could be. Could be reach out to you. It could be like, see if you qualify. It could be a number of things. Those things. You just have to hit it home for a long period of time.
Do you think this still applies to something like a hub, where it's like memberships, event space?
Yes. Anytime you're selling something, it applies to any industry across the board. Yeah. Everybody feel good on the Zoom? Jay, Claudia, Ash? Nice. I love that. So let's assume that the lead makes it through to you. This is problem number 2. So a lot of the times we hear the lead get lost because they're like, I don't have enough information. And then the bad response we hear is, well, what do you need more information on? The thing about the lead is the lead doesn't know what it doesn't know yet. Does that make sense? So the lead already feels like at a disadvantage because they don't know anything. They've never bought a house before. And then you ask them like, well, what information do you need? They actually don't even know what information they need yet. And you're like, well, I'm here to clarify, like anything you need. It's like, I don't even know. So what are some better responses? Like, I would love to hear from you guys. Like if a buyer's saying like, hey, like you're asking, they're saying they don't have enough information.
What's your monthly max payment goal?
Yeah.
How much can you afford out of pocket?
How much can you afford out of pocket?
That's a really good one to start.
Yeah.
Because it gets them away from the interest rates.
Gets them away from the rate.
What's real important is your payment.
Exactly.
I say don't
What is it? One more time, Jeremiah?
It's just, what is your desired monthly payment?
What's your desired monthly payment?
You guys want to spend on a house?
Yeah,
They have that in their head usually. If they don't, they give it to you right away.
I agree. Anything else? Any other responses you guys tell your leads?
When they ask a question.
I don't have enough information. Like, can you give me more information? Like, where do you steer them to? What do you say?
That.
That's the one. That's the number one.
It's like the best thing you can
It
do.
is. It's like the best.
It doesn't mean that's the ending field for them. A lot of them are like, hey, I want 4,000 a month. They're pre-approved for a home that can go up to 8,000 a month. Once they start seeing the homes, they might go up to it. But you always start from there, and then you can tell them the purchase prices at that point.
Yes,
Our field, I think, is the most relevant.
I agree. I love those.
Doesn't really matter. Like type of home doesn't matter. Like
It's always monthly payment.
If you know how to work with your lender properly too, that kind of like how to shit.
Yes,
Now you ask about payment.
I agree.
Wow, what does that payment get me? Well, now we
Yeah.
talk about houses.
Yeah.
So that's where me and Steven like because once they ask about payment,
Yes.
shifting over to Steven, he's soft and a little harder, but it works out.
Yes. Raul's talking about like having that preferred lender to just go directly to, so that way they can start the conversation. We know it being in this industry, but it's like get pre-approved. For some reason, that message like still is not like in the first top of their mind.
I don't use pre-approved.
Or what is it? Talk to Steven.
He's like, he'll keep it.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm curious to know if that's what Mark does. Is that what you do when you first like inquires? Like,
I don't ask them what information that they need and ask them in a perfect world, what is this house? What is it missing? Like if money wasn't an option, like what is it that y'all want? People know what they want and then you work at it backwards. Say, okay, if we can get X, Y, and Z for you at this price, is this something that you would want to commit to?
I agree.
Yes.
Ask, like, what is your motivation to sell?
Yes.
What is your motivation
Yes.
to buy? Because sometimes they're growing their family or
Right.
kids are going to college. So that's my question to them.
Right.
I've never been asked, well, I need more information. Like I've
Mhm.
never been asked that question, or in the response was, what information are you looking for? And if they say, I don't know, be like, okay, I know you don't know, but if you did know, what is something that you would need to know?
They're like, I don't know. You
know,
need to
like,
tell
you
me.
ask them that question,
Yeah.
It's an NLP technique. Like they say, I don't know. Okay, well, if you did know, what would that be? And then they just blurt the first thing that comes out of their mouth,
Yeah.
and then you have a way to steer the conversation and the guidance.
I love
so
that.
Then you uncover their actual hidden thing, right? Is it location? Is it money? Is it
Mark's kind of like referencing right now, like it could be a number of things. It could be asking them about location, monthly payment. Ali was saying like, what's their motive? Like if they have a good motivation behind it, if there's something in the family happening. Bunch of great responses.
People usually move based on two reasons: financial or emotional.
Financial or emotional.
It can vary. I mean, a divorce or financial reasons. I need a bigger house.
I agree.
It depends. So it's not really the one size fits all. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And that's why it's just like, this is just supposed to be a little role playing thing of going back to the basics. Basics. Yeah. This is the basics for sure.
You're triaging them, right? Like, what do you do when you go to the doctor? It's like, oh, I'm sick. Okay, great. We need to put you in the emergency room. You wait here for an hour, or I'll get to you when I get to you. Find out where they're at, and then that's when you start acting.
Yeah, just to pull the curtain back a little bit of what we do, like we provide like some frequently asked questions, because sometimes they also, again, the not knowing what they don't know, like you could easily provide like a FAQ page on our website. Again, these are all like great things that you guys can do. We offer like bios about ourselves, like who is Ale, who is Mark, who's Raul, like tell me who you are. We want to know, like if I'm going to be like buying houses, I like should know like where can I find out the most information about you. All solutions include providing undeniable value. I think that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Just pulling the curtain back so that way they feel at ease. Because it's a lot of money.
Is the goal here to generate more of those opportunities, or is it to maximize the opportunities that are coming in?
I like maximizing the opportunities that are coming in. I don't need like a plethora of like,
99% of all realtors will say that I just don't have enough at-bats or enough opportunities in order for me to demonstrate the value that I can provide.
maybe. That might be a fraction of them, yeah. I think it's at-bats. Like you just have to have more at-bats.
But how do we get more at-bats?
Steven's had a lot of at-bats. A lot of at-bats. And that's how he got so good. And so now he doesn't like,
17 years to get
exactly. It's also just repetition too. It's just being in the gym. Boom.
Click more activities in order for me to get
more activities.
I mean, honestly, the first, huh?
It compounds over time. Like you get
Um,
more opportunities year over year the longer you stay in it. Like my first year, I thought I had a bunch of at bats, but I maybe had 120 real estate conversations in my first year. I thought that
I
was
agree.
a lot. And then look at the numbers 5 years. Like last year, I had over 2,000. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I 20x the amount of activities that I did.
Mhm.
So it's just, but that wouldn't have happened without being in the industry for 5 years and compounding over time.
I agree. Examples of how to funnel a lead properly, I would love to hear you guys. 5 different people minimum of how you like pull in your leads. Where do you send them to?
Straight to my application
Where's your application live?
online
Where online?
in my sales funnel.
In your sales funnel. Is this a URL link?
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else? Steven says his example surveys them right into his CRM sales funnel. Alyssa? I want to hear some.
She sends it
Oh, okay.
directly to me.
And it goes, and so your lead becomes his lead, and then, yeah. What's yours, Mark?
Categorize them A, B, and C.
Where do they live? Where do you send them to? What's the first thing they do?
First thing I do is get in front of them and find out where they are in their buying cycle. Are they
So you have to talk to them.
that's the only thing that matters is getting on the phone with them and having a conversation. Are they 1-3, 3-6, or 6+?
Okay.
And then A, B, C them. And
So Mark says his best practice is just getting on the phone with them. Anybody else?
I added to the CRM first thing every time.
CRM?
Yeah. If it came to me, it's a lead. So whether they're nurture or ready right now,
Yeah.
I put them in there and then I just have different statuses, like Mark said, basically. Mine's different than ABC, but
I love that. Cool. I love what all 3 of you guys just said, right? Because it's like, if you actually, in a perfect world, you can survey the lead how Steven does. It gets nurtured by what Jeremiah's saying, and then they can ping them on the phone like what Mark's saying, right? So it's taking a lot of these things that we already do and just kind of like bringing them together. You can create like a life cycle and a workflow of what it looks like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Thank you guys. So here's some ways we use. Again, we use like Calendly's. Yeah, so they could book a call with you. On that back end, if they do book, it goes right into our CRM. Sometimes we use forms.
How good does that work for you?
How good does it? It's good because I'll get into it a little bit later. It gives us qualified leads, not just regular leads. It puts up one extra step so that way if someone's not serious about it, they won't do it, which I love.
How well has that been?
super helpful.
Huh?
It's super helpful. I just, like the first thing is, you want to like triage them to see if if they didn't get pre-approved that day.
Yes, I deep dive into that right now.
But most people are like, hey, this guy's looking to, buy in the next month. And you
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
more professional, too.
So these are qualifying questions that you can ask your lead, and so you get a great idea. You like funnel them in because they're saying, make them check certain boxes. We're gonna get into this in such a quick second. Forms and newsletters, other great ways to like kind of funnel in your peeps. Yeah. So if you leave here and do one thing, figure out how to get their email. If you care about anything, snag their email. We don't care about the name. We don't care about the phone number. I stand by that with my whole my life. I swear to you. The conversion rate on emails is incredible. The conversion rate on emails is 8 out of 20 in the first day, in the first 24 hours open rate, and then the 16 out of 20 by the end of the week. It's incredible.
Email address because then if they don't convert like right away, you have that capability to reach out to them and have them on drip campaigns.
Yeah. And also too, so first off, we collect the email and then it gives them like a booking thing. And then like if they are qualified lead, they'll book that.
Yeah, because nobody ever really changes their email.
And also too, it's like, why do you have to know their name? Like you'll get there, you'll get that step.
I've had the same email since I was in high school.
So, exactly. Eventually, all right, let's wrap it back in. Eventually, you guys are gonna have a really great problem. I'm getting too many unqualified leads. Do people feel like they're getting unqualified leads now? I'm just curious. Unqualified leads. So here's what you can do. Perfect. I'm glad. First of all, why is an unqualified lead bad? Anybody?
I wouldn't say it's
Waste of time.
I wouldn't say it's bad. Like, the thing about our industry, an unqualified lead is not necessarily a bad thing. Just because they don't qualify today doesn't mean they won't qualify months from now.
Totally true.
So I wouldn't say it's bad.
It's relationships. Like,
Our industry is very relationship based. So it's
I
not
agree.
like, hey, just because they don't qualify today. I mean, Tim and I have had clients that didn't qualify right off the bat.
So what if financial reasons aren't the only reason that they unqualify?
Credit.
What if it's like,
and that's something that can change over time. Income can change, credit can change, bankruptcies. Like,
I agree.
there's no such thing as an unqualified lead. It's just not the
It's
right
just not the right
time.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. This is good. This is what I wanted to know. So Claudia, Ash, and Jay.
People are unqualified leads.
So it's like, what?
They're deceased, they're unqualified.
So they're kind of saying that there's no such thing as an unqualified lead because eventually they will become qualified. Whether it's for credit reasons, whether it's for finances, whatever it may be.
The trustees.
So this kind of makes my next slide. Oh, Ash, qualifying questions saved in our CRM system. Have saved Christians countless hours of wasted time on unqualified leads. We then add them to our newsletter, mailers, etc. Anyways, it's not to lose entirely. I agree. I love that. I agree. So this, I kind of, sometimes I feel that like unqualified leads can throw sticks in bicycle wheels sometimes. So I just, this is more to be like aware and just to be careful going forward because sometimes they do. It's like buyer, it's like buys a car during escrow, it's like damn lender. Or quits their job, right? It's like sometimes that happens. Yeah. So just be careful. It's like quits job. Yeah.
Just go tell them or buy a car.
Okay. So so here's the thing. If you're starting to get unqualified leads, you guys got to create more friction. So what I mean by this is the best way you can create more friction is by asking more questions. This is the way we do it. We survey the lead. Hey, it's like, which best describes you? I have a big online presence. This could be like, are you going to purchase like a home in the next 10 to 12 years? Or like 12 to 24 months? Are you like interested in starting a family? Like there's so many questions you can ask that like will go down the funnel. So that way, like when you get on the phone with them, like you have a basic understanding of what they need. And also too, that means that they're very serious about what it is. Because sometimes people are very serious about buying and selling and they have urgency and you guys feel that. How many of you guys have had buyers and sellers that are like down your throat? Like ready to get this off their plate or ready to jump into something?
Ish.
Yes. When I was in years.
Yeah. So it's good to know. Just get those questions. Just ask. The more questions you ask them, I think it's like, that's what we're trying to get at today too. Ask more questions, you get way more defined about your lead.
And to further that, like every call, I'm sure Steven has the same in realtors, but like my initial call, I'm always asking the same exact questions. I'm not winging it. I have literally a script.
Yes.
It doesn't sound scripted, but I need these 4 major pieces of info, and it qualifies and whatever else, and then you can go from there. But
I agree. I love that.
I tried to wing it like the first year. It was
No.
very inconsistent.
So Jeremiah is saying that like he has like some scripts written out when he first hops on the phone with a lead or a potential buyer or seller. He has 4 questions he always asks them. Do you care about saying those 4 questions or? Is it,
For us, it's,
I mean, like, you don't have to.
no, I gave an example for 4. I have like, there's like 8 of them, but
Okay.
it's what is your monthly desired goal?
What's your monthly desired goal?
What is your goal in purchasing? Right, for me, it's only purchase. We don't do it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Goal and purchase. Yeah.
You know, how much out of pocket do you have? Is this your first time home buying?
Right. This is your first time home buying.
Something else?
Solid. I love that. That's amazing. Ask more questions. I think that's what we're trying to hit home here too. So that way it saves surprises later when you guys are in escrow. Yeah, the group participation. Anybody else besides Jeremiah have any ways? Anything that they specifically ask? You guys kind of divulged this already. I'm just like circling back to it. You guys have already said like a lot of really good answers. Yeah, that's about it. Do you guys have forms for this stuff? Do you guys have like I know you do, like you have a script probably. Do you guys have forms? Steven, Raul, Mark, Ale? like if you get them on the phone, like what it is that you need to ask them. Do you know like?
Dude, I've been doing this like,
Okay. That's why I'm asking.
What do they want? When do they want it? And how do they plan on getting it?
These guys are like big dogs up here. They're like,
That's it.
I've been in the industry.
I've been doing it so long, it's like in the back of my mind.
Yeah, that could be totally true. Yeah.
Like, I don't need to say
Yeah. I'm just asking. All right, cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to nurture leads. Content, engagement, be a friend first, education, online material, courses, traditional materials, buyer guides, seller guides, a bunch of different ways you guys provide value. Anybody else want to touch on how they best provide value? If there's like any unique situations? I know Raul does like client appreciation parties. I know you guys do webinars for VA. I know that you guys do like classes and courses. I know that you're doing like the poker night. That's really good. It's just about being on top of this and continuously doing stuff like month over month, week over week.
It's just calling. It's really just calling them, checking in with them too. Like
Calling.
send some gifts and all that's cool, but
Yeah.
kind of personally call them. That's always nice.
Yeah.
Try to get all the way home. I'm not doing anything.
I love that. Raul says he just tries to hit him really quick, ping him on the way home when he's in the car, when he has a spare second.
Personally, once a year, I bring dinner to their house and hang out with them.
Nice.
Just check in see how their year's doing. Or if
Does
I'm
dinner.
in
I love
their
that.
neighborhood, I'll be, hey, I was driving by your neighbor showing a house. Just thought about you. Hope all is well. Just
Yeah.
that's it.
I love that.
A couple times a year.
Steven? Any ways you nurture your past leads or anything?
I mean, I call as 1 month after it closes, 6 months after it closes, and a year after it closes.
Nice. So they hear from you 3 times in a year? What about the middle months? Newsletters? Newsletters? Yeah.
All my
emails
clients get a newsletter once a month, every single month.
That's beautiful.
Have you bought a house?
Am I on that newsletter? Am I on that list? I want to be on. But wait, hold on. Why did they have to have bought or sold with you if they're getting value?
You just asked the ones that I've closed.
Oh, okay. So what about the ones that you haven't? What about all of them?
All the ones, they just get normal newsletters. Alyssa, do you receive an email from me?
All right.
every single month?
Dude,
Here's examples of nourishment. We just have, we're doing courses and stuff like that. You could do courses as well. You guys can have online videos. Totally up to you guys. There's a lot of savagery going on here. All right, let's lock up so we can like get out of here. Closing thoughts. We see people sprinting to automate CRMs or use AI. Like, I think it's like you will get there, and that projects that you guys are incorporating into your business genuinely take 100 to 400 hours, and being okay with only doing 4 hours a day, or being okay with doing 2 hours a day. It takes a really long time to implement funnels, CRMs, like all this stuff. So it's like just when you guys do task yourself with big projects like this, understand that it takes 90 days. Like it really takes a minute. And then even after that, you're just never done. It's always updating after that. And it gets better and it gets better, it gets better. So yeah, just knowing that things take time. Coming up with the fundamentals every single day is what we see work best. Thank you guys for your time. Don't get wrapped up in the new shiny object syndrome too. Yeah, like it's like don't like shiny object. Woman in the red dress, like don't get distracted by the new product, the new AI thing. Like just keep doing what you're doing. I see people like jumping from CRM to CRM to CRM. The best CRM is the one that you stick with. Like don't get lost in the sauce of like the new technology. Thank you guys.